Okay, so let's get ready to begin. As usual, make sure your environment is safe. Do not move into pain, and always kind of monitor your own condition. Don't feel pressured in doing something that you don't feel comfortable doing. Okay, so let's get started with a warm up. Okay, so let's still march on the spot. Okay, while we're doing that, okay, let's just also loosen up the spine a little bit. So we're just going to bring our chest up towards the ceiling. Maybe taking a breath in at the same time. Okay, and just as you breathe out, just relax your shoulders, relax your back a little bit. Okay, let's repeat a couple more times. Okay, so breathing in, standing 7 feet tall, chest up, or heart up to the ceiling, and breathing out, just relax. Maybe looking down slightly. Okay, and same thing. You can slowly exaggerate the motion a little bit more if you feel okay. So try to see if you can feel the muscle in your mid to upper back. So not just your lower back. So just a little bit of tension in between the shoulder blades. Hit me one last time. Okay, so heart up and breathing out. And okay, and somewhere in the middle, so not all the way down, not all the way up. Okay, looking left and right. Turning your shoulders slightly. Still maintaining a tall posture. And exaggerate motions a little bit. Turning side to side. Okay, let's open the chest. So breathing in, palms up. Try to straighten out the arms. Okay, as you breathe out, give yourself a hug. Keep moving the feet if you can. And one last time. Okay, opening the chest up a little bit more. We're going to put our hands behind the low back or the pelvis. Okay, and you take a breath in, pressing your fists or your knuckles into your pelvis, pulling your shoulders back. As you breathe out, just relax. Okay, repeat a couple more times. Okay, gently see if you can pull your knuckles up a little higher. Okay, maybe just go back and forth. Okay, without going into pain. Okay, and let's breathe in, bring our arms up. Okay, and as you breathe out, thumb rotates inside, reaching backwards. Okay, and just repeat. Okay, so don't just move your arms, bring your heart up to the ceiling as well. And just going back and forth, you hold a little bit at the end, half a second to a second. Gradually increase the effort if you want to. Maybe one last time. And let's just rotate the shoulder blades. exaggerated motions. Bring your spine along for the ride. Maybe 3 to 5 times per direction and then just switch. Okay, and shake it out. Okay, so hopefully you're a little warmed up. Okay, so let's go through each joint a little bit more. Okay, starting from the neck. Okay, so we're just going to tuck our chin down. Okay, and then bring your chin back up. Okay, so you're going to curl your spine down a little bit at a time. Okay, you bring your chest down as well, shoulder a little more forward, breathing out. Okay, breathing in, chest bone up, shoulders back, chin up. Okay, and repeat. So chest, chin down, chest down, shoulders forward. Suck your stomach in a little bit. Breathing out all the way, and breathing in. Stomach a little more forward, chest up, shoulders back, chin up. Okay, last time. Same idea, but try to bring the front of your pants up a little more as well. Rounding your back a little bit all the way, and exaggerate, push your stomach forward, bring your chest up, shoulders back, neck up, and just come somewhere in the back in the middle. Okay, side bending a little bit. Okay, so let's tuck, bring one ear towards the ground. Okay, the opposite side, you're gonna breathe in, touch the ear. Okay, and back down. If you can, see if you can reach behind your back or your butt a little bit. Okay, and just slowly see if you can reach a little bit down your neck. Okay, and then try to see if you can reach a little bit up your back as well. Okay, so go as slow as you need to. See if you can get your elbows up a little higher. Okay, once again, do not move into pain. Just go as far as you feel comfortable. You can kind of scooch up a little bit or wiggle yourself up. Okay, just 3 to 5 times at your own pace. Maybe just one last time. Okay, and come back to center. Pause for as long as you need to. Okay, only when you feel okay, then switch to the other side. Okay, once again, one ear towards the shoulder. Opposite arm, you're just going to start off with small motion. Try to touch the ear. Maybe touch behind the butt. Slowly see if you can reach down behind your neck a little bit more. And reach up behind the back a little bit more. Okay, small increase each time. Medium effort. See if you can still maybe match your breathing. So still breathing in as you reach your elbow upwards and breathing out as you go back. Okay, coming back, check things out a little bit first. Okay, letting the shoulder rest a little bit. Let's still move our neck, okay, but forward and back. Okay, so wrist on the chest, finger or a finger in front of the chin, and you're still trying to get your chin away from your finger, but without looking up. Okay, so you're lying on the beach and you're trying to imprint your head into the sand, okay, but you're still looking up, or you're looking forward rather. Okay, kind of hold for a little bit, holding for, let's go for 2, 1, 0. Okay, this time for 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, also pay attention what the shoulder is doing, so try to put your shoulder on top of your hips. Okay, and one last time. Holding for 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, and relax. Okay, shifting side again. Okay, a little bit side to side just for fun. Okay, so 2 fingertips beside your kind of your face. Okay, and you're just trying to press a little bit sideways. Okay, so a little bit of control. Just think of it as just do it for fun. Okay, and relaxing again. Okay, and let's go into a circle next. Okay, so we're going to tuck our chin down. Okay, so once again, don't go into pain. If there's a little bit of sound, that's okay. Okay, but if it's painful, just make a small circle. Also, bring your chest up a little bit as well. Okay, so look your chin, look down, bring your chin across the collarbone to the shoulder. 1 ear down, 1 ear up. Circling upwards, keeping the chest up. Opposite ear down. Half rotation back to the middle. And just repeat in the opposite direction, keeping the chest up. Okay, and we're done, just relaxing between. Okay, moving on to the chest, lower or the mid back, the hands a little higher up. Okay, kind of like the shifting the head side to side, you're going to shift your upper body side to side. Okay, so your hip stays in the same place. Your lower body is not really moving, but you're shifting your upper body side to side a little bit. Okay, a little more side bending. Going to reach one arm down, up, one arm down. Breathing in to the side of your ribs. As you breathe out, just come back. And same idea on the other side. Try to breathe into where you feel a little bit of tightness. So once again, one armpit up to the ceiling, one armpit down towards the hips. Okay, and let's do a full circle, so arms across the chest. Okay, you're going to focus on the middle of the X. You try to bring the X down towards your pelvis. Bring it over 1 foot. Okay, one shoulder down, one shoulder up. Half circle up to the ceiling. Bring the X upwards as well. So try to push the X up. Okay, tilt the other shoulders down. Half circle downwards. Okay, and when you're ready, just repeat on the other side. So bring it across. Shoulder down, one shoulder up. Middle of the X, push it up to the ceiling. Tilt the other way, turning towards it as well. And just back up again. Shaking it. On to the shoulders. Okay, so let's have our elbows beside the body. Okay, you're just going to rotate, pressing the elbows into your body, pressing your thumb back. Be careful of what you're doing with your spine. So we're not trying to do this so much. Okay, we're just trying to keep everything still. Okay, while trying to press something with our thumbs. Okay, so breathing in, kind of holding for 2, 1, 0. Okay, once again, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, and last time, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And shaking it out. Okay, doing the opposite, elbows up a little bit. Okay, you're trying to rotate, reach down. Once again, be careful what your spine is doing. So I'm not trying to push it down by rounding my back. I'm just trying to rotate my shoulders. So it's going to reach down, holding for 1, 0. Okay, also just maybe double check what your shoulder is doing. So careful that you're not popping your shoulders forward so much. So shoulders just sits in the same place. You're just rotating. So you're just kind of rotating your arm this way. Okay, so once again, 2, 1, 0. Okay, you can put a little bit of effort in there if you want to. Okay, and reaching down one more time. 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, last time for 4. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, and so it's a little bit of muscle effort. Okay, let's check it out. So just kind of rotate, go into a circle. So elbow stays in the same place, arms and wrist gets pushed out. Okay, opposite, elbows up a little higher, reaching the armpits, thumb is reaching back. Okay, reset. Okay, so reaching into your armpits, thumb is facing backwards, and then rotate back to reset. Okay, shaking out. Okay, let's do a whole full rotation of your shoulders. Okay, so you're going to reach in to your chest, towards your nose. Try to get your arm to cover your ear. Reaching backwards, thumb starts to rotate down. Okay, still reaching back. So try to reach backwards as if you're trying to catch something behind you. Okay, and back to the starting point. Okay, same thing going backwards, palms facing back. When you reach almost a little bit of a soft lock, rotate your thumb upwards while reaching backwards. You see if you can cover your ear of your arm. Try to almost touch your nose with your forearm or your upper arm rather. Squeeze your arm into your chest as if you're trying to squeeze a balloon. And back to the starting point. Okay, and same thing on the side. Okay, so imagine there's a balloon in your chest and you're trying to squeeze it or crush it with your upper arm. Try to touch your nose with your upper arm. Try to cover your ear or touch your ear. Reaching back, thumb rotates downwards. Reach behind you. Back down. Okay, and the same thing, opposite direction. Okay, so reaching back first. Rotate your thumb upwards. Okay, be careful what your other parts is doing. So I'm a little bit rotated actually. Cover your ear. Try to compress your arm into your chest. And back to the middle. Okay, checking out. Okay, and just a little bit of the wrist. Okay, basic wrist circles. Okay, let's try to draw as big of a circle as you feel comfortable. both directions. Okay, fingertips, we can upside down L, bend the fingers, kind of rolling it back out. Okay, you can do the opposite. You're going to roll the fingers down, okay, and then kind of wave it back out. Okay, just the opposite motion. Okay, same thing in the thumbs. Okay, so we can bend the lower parts of the joint first, and then the upper part, and try to roll it back up. Opposite direction, so just curl the upper end joint first, and then the inside joint. Okay, and just try to rotate each finger to try to pull it towards the back of your hand a little bit more. So you can even put it on your thighs and try to pull it away from your leg. Okay, just go through each finger a couple of times. Okay, ring finger and pinky, you can move them together. Okay, but still try to pull it away from your leg. So use the muscles in the back of the hand. Okay, and last time, just I'm going to use the back of the hand muscle a little bit so you can have the hands relaxed on the side. Okay, you can try to curl the wrist knuckles up. Okay, and open the hand up. Okay, and same thing backwards. Okay, so try to press your palm into the floor, engage the muscles in the back of your hand to open the hand up. Okay, and just going back and forth. If you're tight like me, then you might have to use a little more effort in the back of the hand. Okay, and shake everything back out. Okay, let's move on to the lower body. Okay, so let's go into our hip hinge movement. So legs will be shoulder, hip width apart. Okay, you're just going to push the butt back while maintaining a long spine. Okay, feeling a little bit of stretch just behind the thighs. Okay, smaller motions first. When you feel comfortable, you can slowly push the butt back a little bit more, but still try to have a long spine. So think of this be short, lengthen your spine, that will straighten it out. So slowly see if you can hold it for 2, 1, 0, 3, 2, 1, 0, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, let's go to the front. Okay, so we have the one leg forward, one leg back. Have as wide of a stance as you need to stay balanced. Turn your toes out a little bit if you need to, okay, but try to have it your toes still relatively pointing forward. Okay, so you're going to try to lift the front of your pants upwards. Okay, so we don't want to be overarching your back, so try to, so the curvature in the back should feel the same as if we were standing straight. Okay, so if you want, you can put your hand behind. So if you find that your back suddenly caves in a lot more, see if you can pull the front of your pants up a little bit until this part, the back, feels roughly the same as if you're just standing straight. Okay, so a little bit of effort to lift the front of the pants up. Okay, and you're just going to press the hips forward, squeeze the butts a little bit. Okay, so once again, light effort at the beginning. Okay, and then slowly see you can hold for 2, 1, 0. Okay, so I'm just kind of, both my arms are just monitoring what my spine is doing. So I'm a little bit tight, so I'm trying not to do this. So I'm monitoring if my stomach is pushing out, if my back is caving in too much. I'm trying to keep it pretty much the same. Okay, and punch your hands up, pressing hips forward, squeeze your butt. 3, 2, 1, 0. Come back. Okay, so as if you stretch the front of the hips. Okay, and last time. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, shake things out a little bit. When you're ready, you can switch over to the other side. Okay, so if you're a little more flexible, you might have to bring your legs slightly further back. Okay, but still, once again, check what your spine is doing. A little bit of effort to kind of level off the hips. So if you're wearing a belt, it shouldn't be slanted forward, it should be kind of flat. And once again, pressing the hips forward while keeping the front of the pants up. Squeeze your butt muscles in the back leg, holding for 1, 0. Relax in between. Second time. 2, 1, 0. Third time. 3, 2, 1, 0. And last time. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And shaking things off again. Okay, and go just loosen up with a full circle. So draw a circle of the hips. Relax the upper body. Press your hips out to the side. Press your hips back. Opposite side. Squeeze your butt to press your hips forward. Switch direction if you want to. Okay, so very similar movement. We can go into the squatting movements. Okay, so legs can be slightly wider than before, so just your shoulder width. Toes can be pointing out slightly. Knees, we want it to be tracking over the foot, so it should be somewhere over the foot. Okay, so exact same thing, we're still going to push the butt back, but this time bend the knees a little bit more. So you're sitting on a tall stool. Still try to keep the spine long. So long doesn't mean straight up, long just means longer that way. Okay, so you're just leaning forward. Okay, so coming back. Your knees are going to travel a little bit forward. Okay, see if you can squat now slightly more, but without going to pain. Feet should be flat on the ground. Okay, just a couple more times. Okay, knees should still roughly be behind your toes. Okay, try to stand up tall. Okay, add a little bit of rotation. Okay, so same idea, still go into a tall squatting stance. Knees still tracking over the feet. Okay, and you're just going to breathe in. Trying to turn. Okay, so your body is not going to turn if you're grounded this way. So lengthen your spine first, then you should be able to rotate a little bit more. Once again, do not go into pain. You can use other hand to help you a little bit, but don't force anything. Just one more time, just Relax everything. Okay, and let's go into the full circle. Okay, so this one it would be easier if you have a chair for balance. Okay, so actually let's do the knees first. So let's just kind of bend and extend both knee joints. Okay, so next part would be drawing circles with our knees. Okay, so you're going to imagine that you're holding a ball or something like that behind your knee. Okay, and you're focusing on the knee part. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to keep your knees bent. Okay, you can draw the circle backwards. Okay, draw it off to the side. Try to draw it up as high as you can, so that involves lowering your foot. Bring up to the front and back there. Okay, so one more time, we'll be drawing backwards. Just gonna move my arm out of the way. Okay, let's draw 2 circles per side, circular direction. So see if you can go the other way. Lift the foot up so you can press it back. Bring it back. Yeah. Okay, if your back of the leg starts to cramp up, just relax the leg. Okay, and you relax the leg. And just be careful. You must see me kind of as I push back. I might be arching a little bit. Try to avoid that as much as you can. Okay, and let's repeat on the side. So once again, imagine you're holding something behind your knee. Okay, so you're focusing on just the knee part. Okay, so this time I need to monitor what my back is doing. It's still pressing back without arching my back. Lifting off to the side. Bring it up. Okay, as I press back, I'm still being careful if I'm getting the motion from my back or from my hips. I'm trying to get it from my hips. Okay, and let's try 2 circles other way. Relax in between if you need to. So I'm still going as high as I feel comfortable. Bring the leg to the side. Okay, to get it backwards, I need to bring my foot up a little bit so I can bring my knee back. Okay, one last time. So I'm still trying to get the motion from my hips, less on my spine. This hip might start to be getting a little tired. Okay, and relax in between. Okay, so shake everything out. Okay, so let's sit down a little bit. Let's do the ankles and foot, and then we're going to stretch our hips a little bit more today. So just pretty simple with the ankles. Just lift the leg up slightly so you have room to just draw circles to the foot, the toes. Try to draw as big of a circle as you feel comfortable. Same thing on the other side. So it doesn't have to be fast, just try to draw a fuller circle, a bigger circle. Put more effort in areas where you feel like you're not moving as well in. Okay, and then the toes, lifting the toes up. And scratching the floor of the toes. Okay, just try to draw circles of your toes. So starting off with the big toe. Okay, see if you can reach inwards. Okay, try both directions just as much as we can do. Okay, a little harder, going to keep the big toe down and just try to move the other toes a little bit. Okay, just as much as we can. So I don't move them. I can't control them very well either. Okay, and shaking out. Okay, so we're going to stretch the front and back hips a little bit more today. So let's sit a little bit closer to the front of the chair, just enough so that if you have to lay your knees straight, your foot is not dangling. So too far back, your leg will be dangling just far enough so that your heel can be on the ground, but relatively straight leg. Okay, so we're going to pull our belly button forward. Okay, until you feel a stretch. Your back can be rounded slightly as long as you're not trying to, as long as you don't feel the stretch in your back. This should be pulling your belly button forward. You should feel the stretch behind most of the thigh or behind the kneecap. Some people might feel it maybe the low back area even. And we're just going to spend a little bit more time here. Your hands can be kind of supporting yourself on the other leg. Some people like to hold a chair. You can even rest your elbow on the leg, on the knee. Okay, and just take deeper breaths in, deeper breaths out. If the bottom of your heel hurts, if you're doing on a floor, on a hardwood floor, you can put a little bit of cushion underneath. Okay, so now we're going to do the active stretching part. Okay, so exact same position, you still feel a little bit of stretch here. Imagine there's a scale underneath your heel. Okay, so the heel, it should read a certain number because you have pressure from the heel down towards the ground. See if you can lightly increase that pressure. Okay, so you're still in the same position, you can lightly press your heel to the ground, increase it by half a pound. Okay, so you're driving your heel down, okay, just a little bit. Okay, still taking deep breaths in and out. As you press down, you might feel a little bit more tightness behind the leg. Okay, don't try too hard, at most 50% effort. Okay, so just constant pressure. Still able to take breaths in and out. Okay, second part's a little bit harder. Still have a scale underneath the foot. You're trying to decrease that pressure by half a pound. Okay, so you're trying to, without moving your upper body, you're trying to almost lift the floor up from the ground. So imagine there's a piece of paper underneath your heel, or imagine there's a $100 bill underneath your heels. Someone's trying to pour it out. You're just helping them a little bit by trying to lift the entire leg up. So you feel this like effort in the front of your hips. Once again, just light effort, just half a pound off the floor, just enough to pull the $200 bill out. Still being able to take breaths in and out. Okay, and slowly coming back. Relax. Okay, so you were actually trying to pull yourself into the stretch. Just a couple more breaths. Okay, and exact same thing on the other side. Actually, I should still stay on this side. So still, okay, make sure you feel okay first. Your blood pressure probably increased a little bit just now because we're doing pretty much what we call an isometric. Okay, so that's why we don't push it very hard because your blood pressure can increase when you are applying effort and your body is not really moving. Okay, and same thing on the other side, on the other leg. So still trying to pull your belly button forward. Your chest can be doing whatever is comfortable. I like to just rest my elbow on my knee. Do something like this as well. Okay, and we're still going to hang out here for a little bit. Still feeling a stretch in the my straight leg. And I'm still trying to take really big breaths in. Okay, same idea. There's a scale underneath this foot. You try to increase the number on the scale by half a pound. Okay, without moving the rest of your body. Okay, next part. I usually like to anchor myself down here with my arms. You're trying to decrease that pressure, so you're trying to lift the heel up just like half a millimeter, okay, just enough to pull the $100 bill out. Even though it's not really, your leg is not really moving, but you're applying efforts in front of your thighs to pull the leg just a little bit off the ground, or there's less pressure on the ground. Still slight effort only. Still be able to take breaths in and out. And slowly coming back. Okay, and when you're ready, we can slowly stand up and we'll do almost the same thing with the front of our hips. Okay, stand up, maybe just keep moving a little bit. Just so your blood pressure don't suddenly drop down too much. Okay, kind of arch it back a little bit, squeeze shoulder blades backwards a little bit. Since we're rounding a little bit, so let's just do the opposite for a little bit. Okay, so almost exact same thing, kind of similar to what we did in the what we did before. Okay, so we're still spending a little more time opening the hips up. So if you sit a lot, this area tends to be pretty tight. So still one foot forward, one foot back. Okay, same idea. Still try to level off your hips. So this way your belt is too low on the front. Level the belt off, level your pants off. Back leg relatively straight. Okay, and you're still pushing your hips forward. So still try to bring the front of your pants up a little bit, or at least there's a little bit of effort to do so. You think of standing tall. Okay, so we're not trying to arch back so much. Okay, we're just trying to stand tall and press the hips forward, feeling the stretch. Moves in the front again. And we're still hanging out here for a little bit longer. Okay, and just be careful that you're not kind of rotated sideways as well, so your hips should be square to the front, so your belly button is facing forward, your chest is facing forward. Okay, if you find that you cannot maintain a tall spine, a flat hip, maybe bring your legs a little bit closer together. Okay, and we're going to do almost the exact same thing. So your feet are glued to the ground. Okay, but you're trying to pull. Imagine you're trying to pull scissor your legs together. So even though your legs are stuck, you're still applying effort to scissor your legs together. Okay, so still in that tight position, a little bit of tightness here. You're trying to apply a little bit of effort to pull the two legs together. So as you do so, you might find there's a little bit more effort, a little bit of tightness in the front. Okay, once again, just a little bit, not too much. Okay, still taking a breath in and out. Okay, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now we're going to do the exact opposite. Your feet are glued to the ground, but you're trying to push the floor apart. Okay, while keeping your hips forward. You should feel efforts in the butt area. Okay, slowly see if you can still bring your hips a little more forward while you're pushing the floor apart front to back. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, and once again, come out. Straighten things out. Okay, so what you're effectively doing is that you're going to the edge of your range of motion. So for example, let's say usually my hips only go back this far. This is where I feel the tightness in. And I'm just trying to apply effort to go even half a millimeter or a millimeter further back. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We're trying to find a spot where we are tight in. Okay, and we're actively stretching it that just to increase that range of motion by a little bit more by trying to open up and also shrink. Also, it's not just one side, it's both sides. So find where we're tight. This is my maximum, and I'm just trying to increase that by a little bit more. Okay, so that's why we don't want to try too hard either, because your muscle is already pretty tight. You're pretty much at the end of its flexibility level. Okay, and you're just using our brain, using the nervous system to try to open it up just a little bit more. Okay, so there's an active component to it. Okay, and if you're ready, let's do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so we're just finding the spots where we start to feel the tightness in the front of the hips. That's where at the end of your current flexibility range. Once again, don't get motion from your back. So pull the front of your hips up. So your belt should be leveled or more or less level. So this should be pointing down. Level your hips a little bit more. And just push hips forward. Lengthen the spine up to the ceiling. Okay, if you find that you have to, so once again, check what your back is doing. So if you find that there's a lot more curve compared to if you're standing tall or standing straight, bring your feet a little closer together. Okay, so your back should be the same shape as if we are just standing regularly. Okay, and once again, feel the stretch here, hang out here for a little bit longer. Deeper breaths in and out. Okay, we're almost done. Just this will be the last part. So the scissoring part is almost helping us relax the front. So anytime we squeeze a muscle, let's say we're unsqueezing my fist, I'm holding for a little bit longer. Okay, and when I let go, it tends to relax a little bit more. So you can think of it you can think of it as your muscles got tired, so it relaxes a little bit. Okay, so we can do the exact same thing. We're trying to relax the muscles in the front so that we can open up the hips and make our leg go backwards. Okay, so once again, your feet are glued to the ground. You're trying to apply a little bit effort to scissor your legs together. So I'm trying to pull the floor. Imagine I'm trying to pull the floor together. Okay, but still at the point where I feel a little bit of stretch in the front of the hips. So adjust, so you might have to get your hips a little more forward. Light effort to scissor your legs together. Feel a little more tension, at least something here in the front. Still breathe, don't try too hard. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Doing the opposite, we're trying to push the floor apart, front to back. Okay, once again, find a spot where you still a little stretch in the front, still trying to bring the front of the pelvis up. Feel the effort in the back of the leg. Try to separate the floor from underneath you. Okay, once again, don't try too hard. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, and coming back, shake things off. And shake things out. So mobility is not just muscle flexibility, it's also a form of strength, but a strength at the end of our range of motion. Okay, so usually we're pretty strong around here. Our strength level falls off at the end. Our muscle control falls off. So we're learning to actively, so not just kind of hang here, but try to actively pull ourselves into just a little bit into our end range of motion, so that we can control it, so that we can also actively stretch out, okay, not just passively. Imagine someone raising the arm up, we're trying to pull ourselves into it, seeing the hips. We want to be able to pull our hips back, okay, so not just kind of hang out here, we actually want to be able to use it. Okay, so shake things off. Let's stop with just a little bit, a few more deep breathing, so shake everything out. Okay, and just take a couple of deep breaths in. Shoulders relax. Okay, notice where you might still be holding on to some tension. See if you can let that go. So just kind of notice what your body is doing. Okay, so that's it for today. So thank you for coming, everyone.